First cheers on recording. My friends over there have to do the cheers.
Because you're on the other side of the room. We're not in a sweaty booth this time. That's a surprise.
And we have a wonderful...
Guess who's back?
Back again.
It's Zach.
It's Zach.
It's Zach, yeah.
Pretty easy.
It's good to see.
Good evening, everyone.
I guess.
Welcome to the
If you're Zach.
implications of
He's here, and that's what matters.
podcast.
Is it? No, it's good to see Zach.
I'll fight you.
It's good that you've got off your uni holidays, living the dream.
Bro, you're not even a first year yet. Shut up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's good to have uni holidays.
We love studying at uni. So, as always, welcome back to the implications of Phineas and Ferb, where we discuss
The implications.
pretty much everything
Phineas and Ferb.
except Phineas and Ferb at this point.
Yep. I'm Joe. You're...
Zach.
What? Oh, no. Pretty sure I'm Zach.
It's tradition. I never get the names right. At this point, it's a meme.
Eventually, we should get it right, though. And
That'll be the last episode.
Season 2, episode 19, and we have What Do It Do and Atlantis.
Yes. Now, my first note is there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in Atlantis and also What Do It Do, both of which are pretty darn good.
I remember this episode because when we started doing our Phineas and Ferb rewatch, which was the reason that we started this podcast.
True.
Shout out to Disney Plus.
Yeah, thank you, Disney
good,
Plus.
Good times.
We started doing our Disney Plus rewatch, and we were like, "What's a good episode to start with?" And this was the first one you said.
Yeah, because we're like, it's got Atlantis.
It's got
And I'm like,
Atlantis,
I think I remember
and
the
that's the
Atlantis
sort
one.
of scope that Phineas and Ferb tends to have.
Yep.
So we'll use this one as a basis.
And it was a pretty good one.
It's a damn good one. This is a great episode. I have such fond memories of this episode.
Anyway, we start with What Did It Do? And basically, I've written down the dad shows potential, and then the boys undiscover from the uncovered TV documentary program, which I kind of liked.
Undiscover. What is it?
It's uncovered.
Uncovered
And
channel.
so the Discovery Channel, which
Yeah.
is good stuff. Reverse engineering, which is...
It sort of shows where Ferb could get his talent from.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I like that it shows that.
Because the dad's built this bird thingy, and he presses... Oh, shit. He presses a button, and then all these things come out for the birds, including a fountain that squirts water. And the way it was built would mean it was sideways, and the water would have to have been stored somehow, and then it
More
floats out.
importantly, it's not all fitting in there. He's
He's spending space a little bit, and also he's made water not fall through, which is
And
very
that
cool.
would be a skill that Phineas and Ferb would soon perfect.
And use a lot. And then Doof is on early start with Perry, and he's wanting to destroy love, but that really gets sidetracked by him building traps that he gets stuck in himself.
Yeah. Good episode. Nice classic plot. Real simple. But that you can't talk about this episode without talking about the star of this episode, the scene that is talked about a billion times.
By all the fans of the community of Phineas and Ferb.
All the fans,
This is the one
crazy
that they
fan
point to.
theories. This is the one they point to where they say that Doofenshmirtz is Phineas's dad because Doofenshmirtz and Linda went on a date when
They
they were in
did
their
go on a date.
20s.
They went into a
did
drive-in.
you not watch that? There was no way she was touching that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He was horrible
She sat in
on
the
the
boot
date.
with his dirty old socks.
The drive-ins are well known through the community is where you go to just have...
Censorship.
It's our Netflix and chill. If you didn't know that.
Yep,
that
100%.
Our Netflix and chill was a
Not
drive-in.
that we really Netflix and chill rip off.
I don't know who you're talking about here, Zach. You'd have to have a Netflix account. No,
I
So-
don't subscribe to this theory, partially because I know Dan Povermeyer doesn't subscribe to this theory.
Dan obviously made the series, and he said wholeheartedly that Doof is not Phineas's father. As a fan, I do like the concept.
I
that
like a
Doof
theory.
is Phineas's father, just because that like gives him some sort of like you can see it in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Their ability to.
And I
create.
like a good theory like that, but for now at least, this ain't Star Wars. And
Yeah, you don't
not
need-
everything needs to be predestiny, as you know. Because of my rants I've had about The Last Jedi, I'm a fan of a story where it turns out that it's not some predestined family thing, and it's just it's who you are, and you're
And
not
also,
defined by the people around you.
by having it undercuts the more like lesser toned things where it is that he doesn't need to have his father.
The-
his father-in-law or whatever
Someone
you call
else
it.
that doesn't need to have their father.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like, as a person, as a single, like, been raised by a single parent, I love to subscribe to the fact that he doesn't need his biological father.
Yeah,
which
exactly. I
is
think
so
that's
good.
a good story.
It's such a good message to have in a show.
Especially one aimed at young kids.
Yeah.
Because what's the statistic? So like 40% of kids are in a
Isn't it
house or something.
It's something insane that marriages fail. It's insane.
Why
that
don't people
marriages
just start marrying
Is
the
it
right
too-
people?
Why do people
Oh,
get
Zach,
married?
you've cracked it on the head there.
reckon.
Stop marrying the wrong person. Marry the one for you. That's what everyone else. they've done
Everyone's
it
sitting there
wrong.
and they're like, well, we're going to break
I
up in a year or
wish
two, but I'm
I-
still going to marry them.
I wish I thought of that. They're hitting themselves silly now. After they've heard
I've
Zach.
just blown everyone out of the water. Like this is some next gen
This is-
stuff.
This is utopia level stuff. I can't believe anyone didn't think of it.
But there is one thing
I
that
wish my
happened.
parents thought of it.
Damn.
There is very nice.
That was good.
There's one thing that is overshadowed in this scene. By the
Yeah.
fan theories always overshadow.
And Dan always points out when anyone ever asks.
Yeah, in this scene, although the fan theory is that Phineas's dad is Doofenshmirtz, what about the actual canon fact that Linda is the reason that Doof is motivated to do what he does?
Yeah, and also at the end, Doof says, "And I never saw her again."
Yeah.
And we've seen their entire interaction, so therefore they didn't conceive a child.
Yes, that.
But I did really like, and it's also very cool, that Lindana has given him the idea of taking over the tri-state area. His entire motivation for the entire series. Like,
Was a feisty redhead in a drive-in.
yeah. Don't you love a good feisty redhead telling you what you should do for the rest of your life and then doing it? At my mother.
We're on fire today.
We're lighting it up.
Man, I need some parental trauma so I can start
Yeah, where are
cracking
your
jokes.
daddy
No,
issues?
no, you
Come on.
don't. No, you don't.
You don't want it, but it'd be funny.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting here like, I like my family. And that's not funny, is it?
And so obviously they didn't have kids. We were talking about something else though.
The inspiration for the tri-state area.
Oh,
taking
and
everything. Yeah.
she's like, she wants to become a pop star, and of course she is.
And she does, yeah.
With I'm Ladonna and I want to have fun.
Still one of the greatest songs in this series.
Best
It's a good
one hit
song.
wonder I've heard, apart from Gitchy Gitchy Goo. Means that I love you.
God, Gitchy Gitchy Goo's a banger.
It's so good.
Just see, I was meaning to bring this up a little bit later, but I'm bringing it up now.
Yes.
Justin Timberlake named his kid Phineas.
Which is a
Iconic.
good,
Great
That
name.
that is beautiful.
good name.
Well done,
That's
Justin
the best thing
Timberlake.
he's ever done, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as I said in the group chat, because the reason we found this out is because your sister Ruth, who's been on the show before, she sent
Yes,
it to us.
yes.
And as I said on the group chat, Phineas and Ferb could write "sexy" back, but Justin Timberlake couldn't write "Gitchy Gitchy Goo."
100%.
Just saying.
It's
Just saying.
beats him 100%. All right, let's get past that scene. But I'm glad we've addressed the issue of how we feel about that fan theory. Good. Second one. Wait. Oh yeah, the mum sees the weird robot thing,
Yeah.
and Candace is like, "The boys built it."
And she
Unfair
goes
assumption.
beast mode.
What?
She goes beast mode. She's like, I'm going to tear these kids down.
I'm gonna bring him down, and she sees it.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I'm like, this confirms the entire show, which is only if the boys make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Only if the
the
boys
Milo
make it.
Murphy's Law thing, the energy that they radiate, that
It's like
that
all
does things
positive
like-
and stuff.
Yeah, all the positive vibes and all that sort of stuff, the opposite to the Milo Murphy effect. That's that's
and
why she can see it,
because
because
they
they didn't make it, so it hasn't got that magic.
And she
Go
never
on.
sees the one that they do make.
Yeah.
Rip
Makes
her.
sense.
Like, that makes some beautiful things. Like,
Anyway, so this machine that Doof's built, after a lot of reverse engineering of hula hooping, other things. What else did it do? Waitering, dancing.
you name it, it did it.
Yep. Didn't work. Is lousy at everything. But you know what's not lousy at?
What?
Getting rid of romantic
Yeah.
scenarios.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call Baljeet and
Yeah.
yeah.
Isabella. That
Yeah.
romantic. But that candle, too far. Too far.
But Baljeet was trying to get in. He was like,
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
damn, it's funny that we've just landed here. And we're like, come on, we all know Isabella is after Phineas. Like, if
Yeah.
there's going to be a romance here, it's between those two.
But Phineas is conducting the tests.
Yeah.
He can't be at the
And
table.
he really, like, he cares about Isabella, But at this point, he really doesn't care about Isabella, if you get my point.
Yeah.
But he is also like 11.
Or
Yeah.
like 8 or
Yeah.
14 or whatever age we decided that they were going to be.
Keep your feel like at that age. It's not important.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love my favorite line in the entire two
Yeah.
episodes. Oh, in this episode,
Yeah.
Phineas says it twice when he's addressing the game. He says friends, bullies, and Irving.
Why is he here? Why
alright.
is he here?
Irving's the worst. He's not a friend. He's not even a bully. He's not worth
It's
your
just
time.
his name.
I don't
It's just
hate
his name.
Okay, I don't hate Irving.
do.
I get why he wasn't a fan favorite, but I also
annoying.
I find it funny that he's just kind of tagging along, and he doesn't have to be in every episode because of that. And I think that they should have kept him as like a more side character that pops in occasionally, because I really like
There is one good line.
the fantastic joke he says.
in the next
that's in the
episode.
next episode.
Oh, that's such
Don't
a good
spoil it.
episode.
Gotta get there.
Yep.
We'll get
That-
is
that's
he in
good.
the first episode?
But then he has 4 other lines. Yeah, he's in the first one. He has 4 other lines that just I'd rather not have him in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But also, I kind of felt that way about Bajit in the first couple of episodes.
That's true. But they were finding their feet.
Yeah, I think that they warm into it. And I think it's just because they've already warmed into the series, but then Irving is new, so they haven't gotten the hang of him yet. It's like a little bit of a dissonance there. But I think that
If he
in,
gets
especially
better,
in
we'll
season
see.
3,
But
he's
right now,
good.
I'm not a massive fan.
Yeah, fair enough. I can respect that.
All right.
What
do you
about
got?
their portable electric scanner? They just scan it.
Yeah.
Just,
No,
They have.
Two.
they're
got
two portable electric
They
scanners.
pull it out and they're like, "Let's reverse engineer." Who needs to reverse engineer if you've got a machine that can scan something one way and make a 3D model of the inside of it as well?
Because you can't have fun with it if it's only a hologram.
If it does that, it can tell you what the machine does.
Yeah, but you can't have it wait tables because it can't carry food because it's a model.
My question is,
You gotta build it.
Did they make this scanner or did they buy it? Because if they made it, they could sell that for a lot of
Can
money.
you imagine the applications in construction?
How?
You scan a skyscraper and you know how it's built, and you've got blueprints and stuff.
Yeah, I guess it'd be great for pirating stuff. Like
And
Yeah.
robbing
narcotics and
banks?
shits.
Wait, what?
Yeah, bro. You just scan and you're like, so
That's
how
the
you get into
weakness.
it.
You could build a small model to test concepts on a small scale
3D
and then scan it, and there's your blueprints.
3D printer sales would go through the flipping roof.
Oh my god!
Because
yeah,
you'd have a handheld scanner. You just scan it and then you're like, time to print it. And it
you
just
wouldn't
prints.
steal a movie.
No, but I would
You
steal.
pirate a car.
You pirate the car.
Walk up to a Ferrari and be like, "Yeah, I'll take that."
or a brand new white Mazda.
Oh,
Oh.
talking about fancy cars that are Mazdas. Mazda 3, nice car. Would recommend.
Yeah, I wonder why you like that car.
I know I'm not biased at all. I haven't been sponsored because I paid my ass for it, but it's beautiful. I've got a new car.
Everyone, write into us, implicationsfinishverb@gmail.com. Say nothing else, just say congrats on getting
Just say
your
nice
first
car.
Joe. Yeah,
Just
nice car, Joe. Yeah,
I'm liking
100%.
nice cars.
Because it's a very nice car. It's
Try and backwards compliment my Mazda 3. By that, I mean just tell me nice things. It's 2018 Mazda 3.
It's not
Go
bad.
nuts. It's
Imagine
a
having a car with
beautiful car.
Bluetooth at age 19. That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Imagine having a license at age 19.
Oh, that was a good self rip.
Pats on the back
Ouch.
for Zach. F.
Well, you get more time in my car, which is a good thing
Strategic
because it's
place.
a beautiful
Strategic.
car.
What about
Yes.
how she just marches in to him when he's giving his presentation?
Yeah, see, this is little misconception. He should have just said, "Did you see it?" And she'd be like, "Yes." And he's like, "Isn't it great for the birds?" That would have ended the entire thing.
Well, no, I think he would have panicked more.
Yeah, no, because she would have been like, this is an unknown thing. And Phineas Ferb would have been like, well, we didn't make it. And she'd be like, okay, so this is some sort of
Quick,
bomb.
call the
Yeah.
Pentagon. We need to hear right now.
And
Lock
it does
down,
make that
the army
beepy
would be there.
noise.
Oh, it would be... Yeah, because it's literally sitting in their front yard, large metal thing. It's beeping.
And
She'd
it is
call
America.
911. The Pentagon will be there in 4 minutes. And next thing you know, they've got people with AK-47s just strolling around the house.
And
I don't know
doing-
how America works, but I'm assuming that's how.
And doing reverse engineering on it because that's what advanced scientists do.
Advanced scientists, reverse engineering.
Anyway, so she starts taking life advice off her daughter, which, not to diss Candace at anything at all.
She
Candace
doesn't really
is
have a
insane.
life together at all.
Yeah, no, this is not a good idea. I did like the bit where she's like, he just thinks I'm crazy. And then Candace is living it up because she's like, this is what happens to me. And I'm like,
No, it's I love you, but you couldn't have chosen a worse moment to go absolutely bonkers.
I'm going to use that on someone. I can't wait. Ruth, it's coming. She's gonna hate that. Anyway, I loved how it was just irony. It was so much irony. And then she just starts listening to Candace. And I'm like, it hasn't worked for Candace. Why do you think it's going to working for you?
Yeah, she's a bad role model.
And then she
Wife
literally
advice on.
rocks up. He's flat. He's on fire on the stage. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's interested. They've all got their hands up for more questions. They want to know about this place.
He's commanding the room. And
Yeah.
we love to see it.
And she just
Can we
takes
point
them
out
out
the
of that.
leader of this town is a mouse?
Yeah, Winchester. Winchester? Is that what they call it?
Oh,
Was
no.
it or was it meant to be like Winston? Oh.
Winston?
No, the place that we went to before with the jousting.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Some
That's
say it's
it.
Worcestershire.
Yes, Worcestershire.
And other people say it's the sauce.
Ha ha.
It's
That's
a good
here.
sauce.
I have never had it.
My pop would always use, he would be like, he'd get the sauce bottle and he'd walk up to the kids who didn't know how to spell things and he'd think he's an absolute comedian and he'd hold it up and he'd go, Worcestershire sauce. And we'd be like, I don't know what that there sauce is, Pop.
Nice. Classy.
It was a great.
You know
it was
how
a
we
great
were
joke.
mentioning how you don't have family trauma? I think you do.
Just not from his parents.
It's just from Pop.
Pop never made a good joke in his life, but God, he was funny.
Anyway, so the dad comes home and doesn't see it. Isn't pissed at all. I'd be slightly pissed. He's having a wonderful time at this presentation. Your wife's gone absolute bonkers about something you never get to see. And then you don't even get to show off your bird thing. He never goes, this is my bird thing.
Yeah, he never gets the
They
validation.
never get to see him press the
building
red
his
button.
good bird.
Can we have an
house.
F in the chat for
F,
Lawerence?
F in the chat for
So sad.
Lawerence Fletcher. Oh.
Anyway, next step.
Next step, yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, Atlantis, tell us what happens.
Alrighty. So, Phineas and Ferb find Atlantis. That's the general plot. A little bit more detail.
What about the sandcastles?
So, they're on the beach.
Yep.
They're just vibing.
Yep.
Ferb bought his MacBook to the beach.
Yep.
Ferb, I don't care how much money you've made with that goddamn space bar.
Don't bring...
Don't bring a MacBook to the beach.
And he's just typing.
So it's the most temperamental computer on Earth.
He didn't think he was going to discover Atlantis. Like, he said minimal research, which was... I've written down that line.
So who is on the beach and just stumbles across where Atlantis is?
Well,
Phineas and Ferb.
It's easy if you've got a MacBook. Just ask Apple.
The new MacBook, 4 times more powerful than anything.
Lets you discover Atlantis in half the time.
Half what time, Apple? When you're giving us benchmarks, compare them to something.
That was sort of, they're like, it's 2 times faster than the most bought computer ever. And I'm like, okay.
Which one?
Is that a
Tell us
Chromebook?
the computer. It's 4 times faster than the most bought computer ever, which is the last MacBook. Whoop-de-doo. It's slightly faster. Like,
Yeah, no, they're
compare it to something.
To be fair, this new MacBook is crazy.
Oh, it's a beast.
It is
It's
good,
a beast.
but they should have given us actual numbers.
If your MacBook is that good, why
Do
not
it
just
like-
give the actual
do it
numbers?
like-
Because it got
Ryzen.
everyone talking.
I guess.
But do it like Ryzen. They literally have a graph. It's a very simple bar graph. They've got Intel's chips, and then they're much larger bar for their chips. Like, it's that easy.
yeah,
You just
and,
point
like,
at it and say,
it's,
look.
It's so weird to me that if you had a computer that beast, like everyone was talking after they did the benchmarks and were like, wow, these M1 chips are amazing.
They're actually pretty
Why
good.
would you not just
Say.
say the M1 chip is this amazing? And then
Because-
people would look at it and be like, holy shit.
Because even when they aren't that amazing, they say they're this amazing. So no one believes them. It's the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly. I was convinced that they were going to be bad. And then I saw the benchmarks and I was like, what?
Anyway, Danville has an ocean.
Yeah.
And a beach. So we're going to say
I mean,
this-
it shows that it's at a coastline near Deuce Place because he's got those ships always coming and it.
yeah.
You know.
But
So-
also-
but also no, it shows that there's a river that runs around it in the episode with the dam.
But then there's
With the
also the
moat,
glacier,
yeah.
which is no more.
yeah.
yeah, so you need an
That's
area
one cold beach.
that can hold the glacier, that can be land and sand and beach and ocean at any point in time.
So
Like, why don't they need to build a backyard beach if there's one down the road?
Exactly. Hawaii. That's what I'm thinking.
I
I know nothing
That
about
would be a
American.
really big plot twist. If it's like in Hawaii and they just didn't show us the plane trip when they went to Mount Rushmore.
Oh no, I was thinking. Oh yeah. Are we sure
There
not,
is no beach
my-
within a couple hours of Mount Rushmore.
My
in any
American
direction.
geography is horrible, so I'm happy to say that Mount Rushmore is actually in Hawaii.
Yeah, all right, I'll buy it. I'll buy that.
We can agree to that.
If you're an American listener, write into us and tell us where Mount Rushmore is. And if you say an answer other than Hawaii, I hope you know we'll delete your email. Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
or where Danville is, because that's
Yeah,
the real
give
secret.
give us your theories.
Even Jeff said it's such a wonderful place.
It's like The Simpsons.
Yeah,
In
where
the
where
Simpsons
is it?
movie, they're like, it's the border of these 4 states. It's on the quad state area of these 4 states, and it just mentions like 4 states that are nowhere near each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
tell
that.
us where Danville is.
Give us your best ideas, you know. But also, I do like the idea that Danville is it's not meant to be one place. It's meant to be like an allegory for just generally living in.
Right. So with the magic of the Macbook, Ferb is able to discover that Atlantis is right there. He can basically point to
Just
it.
off the shoreline.
It's just off the shoreline.
It's just the shoreline. And
East Coast. Yeah, East Coast shoreline.
and
of
Candace
America.
is happy about them leaving because she wants to enter the sandcastle competition, and she was afraid they would be.
They were gonna show her
surprised she
up.
wasn't interested that they were wearing scuba diving suits and going somewhere.
No, but she knew they were going to Atlantis.
She didn't think I could bust them for Atlantis.
Yeah, no, she's like sandcastle. Got
Jeremy's
to get
involved in the
priorities.
sandcastle.
She didn't know
contest.
that at that stage.
Touche.
Yeah.
This is
I-
also the point that we get a banging line from.
But I
Irving.
would be afraid that they would build the skyscraper with a working elevator out of sand.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. How do you build a working elevator? Out
How
of
do you
sand?
build an elevator? How do you build an elevator out of sand?
But they didn't.
Engineering
So,
thing.
How do you build anything they build?
Yeah, exactly.
as the engineering student, this is a question for you. I don't know why you're the one asking it.
Yeah, you're
Wing it.
Can't go wrong with that logic. That makes
first
sense. to
year
me.
engineering right there. Wing it.
So, great line from Irving.
Yes.
They're talking about all the things they want to do in Atlantis, and Isabel's like, I want to see a seahorse and get my underwater equestrian patch. And Buford's like, I want to see a shark. I hear they're the toughest animals in the sea. And Irving goes, I got in your mum's car when you stopped for gas.
I love that so much.
I love that he was sitting there waiting at the gas
Yeah,
stop.
he
for
knew
them.
they were going. Well, he might have known they were going to the gas stop, but he was just waiting.
It might
for
have
the
been
car.
opportunity. His parents might be desperately looking for him because they stopped at the gas station and then they turned around when they were 10 minutes down the road and he wasn't in the car and they're like, oh no.
And he just jumped into the boot because all the seats would have been full.
So he's in that little
Mum,
spot in the back of the
Dad,
boot.
Candace, Phineas, Baljeet, and Buford. That's 6. Oh, I guess if it's a 7-person car. No
Yeah,
one
but-
wants to sit next
But
to
no one
Irving.
would want to see him.
Yeah, he's in the boot.
And they seem to just think that he showed up at the beach at the same time as them. So
Yep.
they probably don't even know. I think Irving is at his best when he's being creepy because it's something that distinguishes him from the other characters.
And it's funny.
And it is very funny.
Or using a camera in his mind that he still puts his finger over
Oh,
the
God.
lens.
That's a funny joke.
That hurt me. I still don't like Irving. Huge implication. This one we're going to think about for years. Like, genuine. Think this is going to change the Phineas and Ferb world.
Righto.
They don't have nipples.
You know, I didn't even notice that, but my mind's broken.
Yeah, I was just like...
They also all have the thinnest torsos you've ever seen.
And their necks, especially when it turns into a triangle head.
Yeah, a bit weird.
Yeah, a bit weird.
But yeah, no, that's the real hung up in this cartoon world. Where's the nipples?
And not Atlantis.
You know the release the Snyder Cut movement?
Release-
Phineas and Ferb released the nipple cut.
Free the nip. All right.
Oh, that's so stupid.
So they go underwater with the masks and everything. Mm-hmm. What do they come past before Atlantis?
Well, they're just like,
Oh, Zach wrote it down as well.
I got this.
all right, you tell us.
You two are
They
the
weren't part
identical
of the
friends.
Titanic.
So the Titanic sank.
Yeah.
That
next
seems to be in the right spot.
Yes, not in
Um,
freezing water.
Amelia
Oh, that's the glacier.
Earhart, who no one really knows when she disappeared, so
She
sure.
would have hit the glacier.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Titanic and Amelia Earhart both hit the
And then the
glacier.
Temple of Poseidon, just chilling next door to all both of those.
Sure.
She.
We don't know where she went.
I'm pretty confident though
She
that
went
the
up.
theory was she was somewhere between.
Yeah, because she left Papua New Guinea, didn't she? And then she just
Yeah,
never really
she
made
stopped
it.
at Papua New Guinea and then she never made it out.
She broke
So
the
I'm.
phys-
So that means that she crashed in the Because she would have stopped in America. She was doing a trans-Pacific flight, and they're on the East Coast. The East Coast is where the Titanic sank, but that's not where Amelia Earhart went down.
Strong ocean currents. Boom, solved it.
She broke
Makes sense.
the gravity's one rule. She went up and she didn't come down.
I guess.
All right. So they walk past that. Oh, I
Yep.
did write they're very dense.
How
You can't just walk on the surface of the water.
They've got weights in their shoes. They're fine.
Have you?
Have you seen how thick Buford is? He definitely could.
They weren't wearing shoes.
I think this leads into a connected implication because we've already determined that
established-
Candace is dense.
Yeah, Candace is very dense. Candace
you
could do it
think-
no issue.
Do you think that the density of all people in the Phineas and Ferb universe is just greater?
That's why Amelia Earhart crashed.
Oh, because she was dense.
Yep, and the plane just
And the plane didn't have enough. That makes
Yeah.
that makes 100%
100%
sense.
sense.
I mean, all the other flights she did because she wasn't as dense at the time? Question mark.
Yes.
But she was dense enough on this flight to bring it down.
Yeah.
That makes 100%
Anyway, so they
sense.
just walk underwater. They
Oh.
walk past everything.
They also see the tomb of Poseidon,
Yep. That's like what we
just
said.
chilling.
and they're like, "Guys, focus. We're looking for Atlantis."
Why
here."
would you not yoink the trident on that?
I yoinked the Trident. It's probably got superpowers.
Yeah, you could just go explore
And it
Titanic.
looks cool.
Can
You
you
hold-
imagine seeing Leonardo DiCaprio next to the Titanic? That'd be so cool.
Or Leonardo DiCaprio's skeleton. That's dark.
Yeah, well, if it's cold enough, it wouldn't have... The skin wouldn't have come off.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's like how people in Everest, when they're climbing the mountain,
This
they see the
episode
full
is
body.
like full of dark things.
Yeah, I bring the dark theme. All right. Number...
Oh, speaking of which, they're deep enough down that they're at a shipwreck. They're well and truly in the ocean, but it's not dark.
And also their pressure, their heads would explode.
No, because they're dense.
Fair.
They are so dense that pressure doesn't affect them.
They go to the door of Atlantis. They give it a good knock. It opens into an empty area.
Yep.
Where a door wouldn't have been.
But like,
Yeah, like why bother have a door when you can just swim over?
and why didn't they go investigating it? They just kind of like I
It
would
could
have
have had traps.
They never even went in Atlantis.
Well, they kind of, in the song, they were in the building sometimes.
Yeah, but like they never.
They had bigger plans. They were going to bring Atlantis
Yeah,
back.
they weren't just there to explore. They're not
They're
there for
like-
archaeology.
they're
They're
like-
there for restoration.
They're like Las Vegas. You're about to get one upped.
Yeah. We're going to have Atlantis. And
I
you know how
liked
we're
how
going to do it?
Atlantis looked kind of like sleazy gambling city
Yeah.
rather than like ancient Rome.
You know how we're going to do it?
How?
We're going to call up our friends from FedEx and they're going to ship us the helium
Now,
underwater.
And we'll
Which-
put it in Outback Australia.
100%. That makes sense because we got space.
FedEx.
What
appears on
courier
the
company are
bottom of
they
the ocean.
using?
Yeah.
I want to know
I
what
want
courier
them
company.
in Australia
Better than
'cause-
Australia
Yeah,
Post.
it's not Australia Post. Let me tell you.
because they can barely get out to my house.
We bag out Australia Post, but holy shit, they've got a hard job with
Yeah.
how spread out we are.
Not as hard as getting to the bottom of the ocean at Atlantis.
Touche.
What do you think they wrote down? They've got an underwater GPS. Would they given the exact coordinates?
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that FedEx knows Atlantis is there. And it's just not profitable for anyone other than Phineas and Ferb to lift it back up. That's how they found it with minimal research. It's
Yeah,
already
true.
been discovered. They're just finding it. They're not discovering it. So they just wrote 1 Atlantis Street Atlantis on the parcel. And that just got
Yeah,
delivered.
and then the truck just drove into the ocean.
Submarine.
And sunk.
Submarine.
Was it a
It was
submarine?
a submarine.
I
yeah.
thought it was just a truck.
No, it's a submarine.
Oh, I was imagining a truck on the.
That is a very funny visual, though. Everything's dense in
Yeah.
Danville.
He just like sat there for like an hour, like
Just waiting for the truck to... No, everything's dense in Danville. We've established that. It would sink.
Yeah, would a helium bottle sink?
You've thought too much. You've cracked the code.
Anyway, so they're like, I know what will.
They do a lot of
rise.
that. They do a lot of cartoon physics where they can they can change the density of things on the fly. Like
Yeah.
helium, you put it in a bottle and you can carry it to the ocean
Once
floor,
again-
but then you put it in balloons and it can lift Atlantis.
And
Dense,
Ant-Man
dense
stole it
metal.
off them. Like they had to get it from somewhere. It's just Ant-Man physics.
Yeah, 100%.
Just change density things when you need them to be different.
Well, didn't Ant-Man steal it from Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
as we've
That's where they
established,
stole it.
thank you for cutting into our deep lore. We're just handshaking here. You can't see, but handshaking. Every script is taken from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I did love the joke. And so they're like, I know how we're going to raise Atlantis. They've done some crazy stuff. They could have got pistons. They could have got anything. 4 balloons.
Weather balloons. They're,
Nice.
they're
That's
big boys. They're big
I,
boys.
I did like how they said weather balloons full of helium. And that just rose it out of the ground.
Nice and simple.
and then carefully placed itself on top of the water for Candace's entry into the sandcastle. She should have been disqualified. It's not made out of sand.
Yeah, 100%.
Jeremy,
not a sandcastle.
Jeremy was gonna vote for
Jeremy
anyway.
was a good judge, and
Jeremy was going to give it to her regardless.
but I did like the mother's line, and I think this is something people should use in life more often. And that was, Jeremy's smart enough to separate his feelings from your sandcastle and from you. That's
And you
important.
should be able to do that.
You should be able to do that for certain people in professional circumstances.
Yep. If you're in a professional circumstance with someone that you're dating, you should be professional about it.
Yeah. And you should be able to accept that as how it is.
Yeah, what about when Isabella admitted that she couldn't actually ride a seahorse because they're too small, and then Buford has a hold my beer moment, just grabs a whole bunch of them under his arm and takes off.
And somehow they push him along, which is funny. Talking about good Buford moments, there's the bit after they've sung their Atlantis song, and Baljeet's like, oh my God, I can't believe we've discovered Atlantis. People, amazing people, geniuses have spent thousands of years trying to discover this place. And Buford's like, those guys were punks. And I'm like, you didn't do shit. Ferb did it all. But
exactly.
Sure.
And also, geniuses spent all that time working on it. You guys found it in an afternoon, but FedEx found it in 10 seconds. I'm just saying.
Get one up.
When they need to deliver, is it FedEx or is it Amazon?
I don't know.
Well, no,
Wouldn't our American listeners tell
It'd be
us?
USPS, United States Postal Service.
They have one of those?
Yeah, they do. Can I just
Does the government
say,
pay for it, or is it privatized?
No,
like
no, no.
everything else?
USPS is an absolutely disgusting acronym. They're called USPS.
USPS.
USPS, USPS.
USPS.
I like saying that. I think
Well,
it
yeah,
flows
Joe-
off the tongue
Joe-
better.
Joe,
it's
they're-
like ALCA versus OWCA. It just flows off the tongue.
The USPS is there to deliver your bills,
Yeah.
and if you can't afford Amazon or FedEx.
Nice. But if you are from America, let us know which delivery service you think drove to Atlantis and delivered the goods to Phineas.
I don't want it to be Amazon because I just hate Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, no, Amazon makes way too much money.
He's a very hateable person, that Jeff Bezos
I only
bloke, isn't he?
picked FedEx because I can picture it,
Yeah.
and I know nothing else about it.
I can imagine
lot
like
of
a variation on that FedEx logo where it's like the arrow has bubbles in it.
Or it's just
Like, we'll deliver in the
label.
ocean as well.
They changed the color of the logo for every different type of transport.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
Atlantis
they
X.
they go to deliver it to the bottom of the ocean and they're walking along and they're like 10 steps away and then they just stop. And they're like, dudes, are you coming? And they're like, no, sorry, we only deliver domestically. You're in international orders. And then they just turn around and walk off.
I'm imagining a truck that's from James Bond. And he
Oh, with the
presses
submarine.
button, and then it changes into a submarine. That's why it was the submarine. Apart from Perry the plant removalist,
Oh yeah, lean, mean gardening machine.
lean green gardening machine. By that, we mean a chainsaw and another version of a propeller. He just removes all the plants. Are we even going to mention the Doof and Perry stuff?
I
Can you bring
mean,
it up?
he got some really good fertilizer that turns them evil. Then they just go against him as well as Perry, try and stranglehold them. Perry escapes with some kung fu skills, comes back, cuts them up, boom.
Done. Twice, Doof's traps have got him trapped in like 2 consecutive episodes.
Yep.
And I did like to see the revival of the Doof blimp.
Yes.
I totally forgot about the soundboard.
Yep, we've still got the soundboard here even when it's 3 people because we love to see it.
Yes.
I love when the blimp makes an appearance.
Yeah, it doesn't
Especially
get
because
often
it's the least practical blimp you've ever seen.
because it doesn't exactly work.
Yep, because it's
My
as we've
question
established, it's the entire central part of the actual blimp is part of the carriage. It's not a carriage with a balloon on top. It's literally just like a floating layer.
And you couldn't breathe in that.
My question is, how do you park a blimp?
It's funny because the blimp I don't think ever touches the ground. It either explodes or
Like,
it just...
how do you land the people in the blimp?
No clue. Have you seen Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade? When they have that blimp?
Yeah, I've seen a blimp in the air before, and I'm like, how did it land?
Very large area.
Just a paddock, just out back.
They're very slow.
Yeah.
Surely it just falls to the ground softly.
Well, a blimp.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the
Hindenburg disaster?
Hindenburg
Yeah.
disaster? Yeah.
Was that when the 27 Club got its like 6 members?
No, that was when a plane crashed.
That was
with Buddy Holly
American
and all that
Pie.
stuff.
What a
That was
song! What a song, though. by the
Great
way.
song. Sad that it had to be written. But no, the Hindenburg disaster is when like 100 people, I think it was about 100 people, died on a blimp
Wasn't one of the people died like Hitler's friend? Didn't he get like real mad?
Something like that.
Something like that.
As always with all history in our podcast, we have no fucking clue what we're talking about. But basically, a blimp went down, and it was basically the reason that blimps fell out of fashion.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, we got to have so many safety
And
regulations.
also, it's an explosive balloon.
Yeah, it's literally a
attached to
floating
very small
bomb. It caught on
carriage.
fire, and everyone was dead before they hit the ground because it's carrying around a bunch of flammable gas.
They aren't the
It's
best designs. They're funny,
yeah.
stupid to watch.
Oh, they very much are. I
I'd
love
go
the idea
with
of the wind being slightly wrong and a blimp just very slowly blowing into the pointy part of a skyscraper.
That
and just popping.
or it rotating and just like the carriage does a barrel roll, so you're just there and it's like
Tips everyone out.
it's good.
Yeah, they're very much not practical. We got any more implications?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
Have we got any messages?
Well, no messages, but I have got a thing that I want to talk about in the letter segment. Yeah.
What?
I got sent by one of my uni friends I know you hate this because I know you hate TikToks. We got sent a TikTok.
Oh god.
But it's a pretty good TikTok.
Is it by Dan Povenmire?
No.
That's not a good TikTok. And
Touche. But also, I actually like this one. Shout out to the MWCA, which is the musical without a cool acronym.
And they're like a TikTok channel.
They're just basically on TikTok in the same vein as the Ratatouille musical. They're making an unlicensed Phineas and Ferb musical.
Oh.
Phineas and Ferb is about music.
Speaking
they're like
about unlicensed things.
they're like unlicensed Phineas and Ferb parody musical, and I support that.
Are they stepping on our live action movie territory?
That's a good
Is
question.
Tom Cruise playing Perry the Platypus?
No,
I'm slightly disappointed, but also happy.
thank God that they're not stepping on our very
I
official
also
feet.
now want to be a part of this. Can we
100%.
cut the TikTok part off?
I've actually been in a musical, so I have much better chances than you.
I've watched a lot of Phineas and Ferb.
Touche.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there. And I love how much I watched the trailer for it. It's just basically a parody song that they've written, and they really emphasize that it's a parody so that they don't get sued by the Mouse House. And I respect the hell out of that.
That's fair.
If anyone asks, this is a parody podcast as well.
We're making parody of the Phineas and Ferb universe until we make the live action movie where
That's going to be official.
That will be officially licensed by Disney.
That's
They'll be
when
like,
the
"Damn."
Phineas and Ferb band is breaking away from Disney and becoming its own media conglomerate akin to Disney.
And they'll be like, we haven't had Tom Cruise in a movie yet. Let's
Boom.
do it.
Yep. This is where we.
Why do you
this we
reckon?
have Tom
Do you
Cruise
reckon
in.
Tom Cruise just doesn't like Disney, or you reckon
No, I think
Disney just don't like Scientology?
I think
I'd say it's that one.
That, and also I don't think they like people breaking their ankles in live shows. They're
Yeah,
very
Disney is
G-rated.
all about like liability
Safety.
and safety and like cookie cutter procedures and stuff, except when it's their employees at Disneyland having to wear
Coronavirus.
masks. Zing.
Yeah, I was going to say coronavirus. as
Yeah,
well.
they were a bit late to get.
Oh,
the
we
masks
better
thing.
close. Oh, wait. We're still
Better
open.
what?
Didn't they like close for a little bit and then just reopen immediately, even though people were still...
No, Disneyland's still closed, aren't they? Or
No, they're open.
Are they?
They're definitely open.
Some of them are open anyway. I don't know which ones, but it was yikes.
It means you can go from Disneyland straight to the hospital for coronavirus. Makes it easy.
Easy peasy.
Your last breath can be at Disneyland.
Did you know, fun fact, America has a bunch of no-fly zones. There's two types of no-fly zones. There's the ones that you can request emergency access to and the ones that under no circumstances are you ever allowed to fly over or you
Area
get shot
51.
down. Area 51 is actually the first one. You can request access to fly over Area 51. If they're not doing aerial training exercises, you can.
Nice.
All right.
Disneyland, Florida is a 100% no-fly zone. You can't request access. You just cannot fly over it.
Imagine having
That's because Walt Disney did a bunch of lobbying and was like, I don't want anything
That's
breaking
also
the
because
illusion.
there's a guy in a Mickey Mouse costume with a missile launcher just waiting.
Mickey's like on the stage doing the parade and he's waving and he's like, huh? And then he checks his watch and he's like, huh? I gotta go. And he walks out the back and his face just immediately drops. He's still in the mannequin costume. He whips out a bazooka that's like twice the size of him, holds it over his shoulder, and he's like, I fucking dare you to fly over me. I'm gonna shoot you out of the fucking sky if you try to come over Disneyland. Not
It's a
Disneyland.
no-fly zone.
To be clear, not Disneyland, California. That one's fine.
even-
Only Disneyland, Florida.
Okay, well, Florida.
Florida's the important
That's
one.
where he gets the bazooka from.
you know the Disneyland castle.
It's not a bazooka, it's just an alligator. He just throws it.
No fly zone.
You know the Disneyland castle. I reckon it's a nuclear silo. I reckon the top just pops off.
Sure. And then they just... You know the entire back's hollow, right? It's not actually that big. It's forced perspective.
You would also need a nuclear power plant just to power the lights.
Oh my god.
It's hilarious that you think that Disney doesn't have a nuclear power plant just sitting under Disneyland.
Just waiting, and if anything flies over it, nuclear missile. Like, they ain't mucking about.
How many power outages have Disneyland have?
I don't think they have power outages because they've got their own.
They would
backup
have
power.
so many
'Cause
emergency backups.
There was a good while where Walt Disney was really pushing hard the idea that he was going to turn Disneyland into a town in the same vein as like
I'd
Star
rather
City.
live there
from
than rest America.
Oh, so wait, you
Touche.
could live there?
Yeah, you know what Epcot was, right?
No.
It's the world of tomorrow. It was meant to become a city.
Oh my god! Right.
Its
you
whole
could-
thing was that he was going to expand it out and do in public infrastructure and stuff. That's why it had a public transport system and restaurants and shit. Epcot was this whole massive thing, and then it
That's
never
kind
ended
of
up getting
cool.
completed.
I'd do that.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't want to live in a corporate wasteland owned by Disney, but you
They
know.
might have a restriction on guns though, so better that than the other corporate wasteland that is the rest of America.
You know what? I cannot argue with that logic. Because, like, sure, the American government may let you have guns. But do you think the mouse is going to let you carry guns
the
around
only
children?
person who's allowed guns in Disneyland is
the
the
mouse.
mouse. Is Mickey Mouse.
The employees are all packing Glocks. And if they see a plane flying over the top, or they see one of the people in costume break character, Glock comes out.
Just reverse any Soviet Union Mother Russia joke and put Mickey Mouse there instead of Vladimir Putin, and that's it.
It's
That's
so
it.
funny. I never get tired of Mickey Mouse jokes. It's just so...
I can imagine just a bunch of Disneyland. They're like, "Oh yes, show us our ticket," and then they hear a plane. And they're like, "Quick!" They all run to the center.
they're just shooting
Just
it.
Glocks. They're just like,
Like that movie, the one that they talk about in Hot Fuzz, that like old cop movie where he's just like firing at the sky.
Yeah, that.
It's that scene.
But everyone's
all
firing
of the
at
Disney
this
employees
plane.
just shooting at this plane, trying to shoot it. That's what happened to Amelia Earhart. She flew over Disneyland.
It's in Danville. They had to cover it up.
Yeah, that's the reason she didn't fall in the Pacific Ocean. She went all the way over to America and she started flying over Disneyland. She was landing
Florida.
just on the other side of Disneyland. She made it all the way to Florida because she was slightly off course or whatever. And the mouse is like, I don't care if that's Amelia Earhart. She's getting shot out of the fucking sky. Huh? And it's a little biplane, so of course they shoot it down easy. They just whip out their like nuclear powered alligator and just
Feminism
start
on
taking
my
shots.
watch. Win-win.
Oh, I love how that joke had so little to do with the show, but it was so goddamn funny.
I have cried a little.
Yeah, that was...
Talking about
Just a
crying a
beautiful
little, I
tangent.
got a new phone today as well. And if you want to find out, you can sponsor me
Yeah,
at
100%.
Implications of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, hit us up and,
Try your
and do
best.
some sponsorships, yeah.
Good luck. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a niche brand.
If you are part of the MWCA, the Musical Without a Cool acronym, hit us up.
Please.
We will
We
take...
wanna hear
We
more.
want to hear from you. We want to see the musicals. We want to get involved. We want to sponsor.
We
will do everything.
We want to hit up Tom Cruise with more than just two guys behind two microphones.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
We've got like 12 people behind cameras.
I
on
mean, I don't
TikTok.
know. If I was Tom Cruise and 12 people came to me and said, hey, there's a cartoon that's aimed for like 8 or 9 year olds. Do you want to be in it?
Surely he's seen it. Surely.
Sure. Like,
He
hasn't?
he is Perry the Platypus.
The man loves cinema. If Phineas and Ferb's ever played in a cinema screen, he's seen it.
He would have seen it when he went down to the vault and they gave him the idea for Mission Impossible.
Touche. Yeah. They'd be like, you can't get just from this, the whole point of this idea we're doing just from the script. You got to watch an episode. And you watch one of the episodes, like the episode where Perry goes rogue. And he's like,
Damn.
yeah, I'll do
I
that
wish I
for the
could-
rest of my
I
life.
wish I could play Perry, and then we're going to fulfill his role.
Exactly.
We're gonna
He
give
saw
him-
Perry jump off a building and he was like, do you reckon I could do that? And they're like, yeah, we can get you safety trained and we can
When
hook
he
you up. And
jumped off a plane?
he's like, oh, no, blah, blah, blah. Safety trained?
Holding onto the side of a plane and jumping off barely with a parachute. That's me.
Nice. Hey,
All right, let's
can't
wrap it
believe
up.
he did a halo jump. Yep, right here, wrapped up. If you want to write into us, hit us up on the implications of Phineas and Ferb at gmail.com.
Plug.
Or hit up the Instagram, implications of Phineas and Ferb. Or hit up the TikTok. Of
on my new
Ferb.
Just hit them up. They're
Yeah, hit
lonely,
us up on everything.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the links are in the description. Hit up the Twitter, the TikTok, the freaking Reddit if you want, I guess.
If you really want to try.
Yeah, and
Done.
we will see you in the next episode. Oh, and one more thing. I am moving house in between this and the next episode, so there may not be an
This
episode.
kid's actually moving out.
God, I
I'm
love
shocked
Discord.
too.
Yeah, so there may not be an episode next week, timing permitting. We'll see what happens. But
Or there may be a special one.
yeah, there may be a special one. We'll see what happens. But hey, so Lachlan here. Bit of an update. So I actually have managed to move out. I'm living in Sydney now. So that's why there wasn't an episode last week. We thought this episode was going to come out last week and I'm coming out this week. Because I'm starting my study period, I'm still getting adjusted to living here. The episodes may be a little bit on and off. There may occasionally be a week where we miss an episode. We're very sorry about that. But yeah, we're working on lots of stuff. The podcast will continue, and we can do it remotely, so that's absolutely no worry. So yeah, that's a bit of an update about what's been going on. Yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
See you then.
The implications of Phineas and Ferb. Listen to it whenever you can.
I got the buttons confused.
The implications of Phineas and Ferb.